Hey guys and girls, thanks for joining me on this video. This is kind of just a boat detailing 101, some basic insights into what tools, what products, what techniques you might want to use to remove some moderate to heavy oxidation off of a boat like this one here. This happens to be, I think it's a 20-year-old Sea Ray. It's on a trailer, as you can see. It's also moderately to heavily oxidized. And so I'm using a Makita rotary polisher here with a wool pad. And I'm using Meguiar's cleaner wax. I think it's Meguiar's 49. I might be wrong on that, but anyway, it's Meguiar's cleaner wax. Usually I don't use this. I was actually just testing the product this day. It seemed to be working fairly well and producing a good result, so I stuck with it. This boat, just to do the hull on both sides, took about a day and a half. This was kind of a windy, wet day, and you'll see later on in the video I'm taking off my jacket, putting on a different jacket off and on throughout the day. Camera fell a couple times just because it was so windy at some points. But anyway, lots of different techniques going on here. Primarily, I'm just adding about a quarter size amount of product to the center of the pad each time I start a new section. That section, I'll go left and right, side to side overlapping passes, kind of working from the top down lower. About a 2 foot by 2 foot square typically is the area you want to work in. And basically that's just the distance that you can move the machine kind of shoulder width from side to side without moving your feet. The more you can kind of isolate your movement and basically conserve your energy, the better off you'll be. A lot of new detailers, they'll tend to kind of try and get in a hurry and start moving around, moving their feet, trying to do too big of an area at a time. Hopefully you'll see that I'm kind of trying to maybe move my feet left to right, but not really walking left to right. I'm just kind of pivoting there, as you can see right there. Just to keep the pressure even on the buffer. In the flat areas, I tend to keep real flat with the buffer. Some people like to get up on the edge. I found that that'll leave a lot more swirls if you work on the edge. So mostly I work pretty flat. Once I'm working the contoured areas, both of the bends in the boat, the body lines there, or around those little portholes, then I'll start getting up on edge and also putting some product on the edge of my buffer or on the edge that I'm working, so that I'm not working a dry pad in those areas, because if you do, you will burn it. Right here, I may not have added product to the buffer, but the buffer has gotten so heavily caked up right now, I'm actually using that edge down there that I need to work to kind of clean my pad off with that built up wax I've got on the pad. And so in that case, I may just put a very small amount of wax in the real hard edge or line that I'm working, but not a whole lot, because I've already got a bunch on my pad that I'm trying to kind of work off and clean off. Alright, so throughout the video you'll see me kind of stop and take a look and kind of change my perspective and the angle I'm looking from. And it's really important to do that, because a lot of times when you're working on especially a white surface, and if it wasn't such a cloudy day, if it was sunny, it's really difficult to see. And even if it's not difficult to see, sometimes it's just hard to really figure out if all the oxidation's gone. Sometimes just an angle change or a perspective change of how you're looking at the boat. You'll see some things that you didn't see right there my camera dropped and I'm just walking back from picking it up. You can tell how windy it is. My pants are blowing in the breeze, and I was kind of just rocking out. I had my tunes going. You see that tree in the background just really blowing. Anyway, side note, right? So, yeah, just kind of keep changing your perspective of how you're looking at the surface. Sometimes when you're just looking straight on, you're not going to see all of that oxidation that may still be there. So I will typically, work an area consistently, make sure it's done, and then I'll double check it and go back through and look again. Look down the boat from the front to the back, from the back to the front, step back a little bit, change the angle I'm looking at, and just make sure that the oxidation's really all gone. Because especially these older boats that have gone, 5, 10, 15 years without being waxed, there's some heavy oxidation in there, and it's going to take multiple passes and then just verifying that it in fact is all the way buffed out. And so good tip for you, just to make sure you're doing that if you're doing this on your own.